Good evening, fellow Gaborone Toastmasters, visiting Toastmasters, and esteemed guests. Welcome to another empowering session here at Gaborone Toastmasters. Tonight, our theme is Make It Happen. These three words are not just a phrase, but rather a call to action, a mindset, and even a commitment to turning our aspirations into reality. In life, we often dream big, set goals, and talk about what we want to achieve. But the real magic happens when we finally take that action, when we step forward, embrace the challenge, and even put in the work. Whether it's mastering public speaking, growing as a leader, or pursuing our personal ambitions, success is not about waiting for the right moment, it's about creating it. So, tonight, as we go through this meeting, let's challenge ourselves not just to think about growth, but to actively pursue it. Because at Toastmasters and in life, we don't just wish for things to happen, we make them happen. Let's get started. I'll be holding down the fort until our Toastmaster of the evening can take the reins. But first and foremost, I'd like to start with our toast. At Toastmasters, we have many a tradition, and the toast is one of them. It's raining. I hope you guys can hear me clearly. But, ladies and gentlemen, please grab your cup or your glass or anything close by and take this toast. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we raise our glasses to action, to determination, and to courage to turn our dreams into reality. May we never wait for the perfect moment, but instead create it. May we embrace challenges as stepping stones and see every small effort as progress towards greatness. Here's to taking bold steps, to believing in our potential, and to making things happen. One speech, one decision, and one action at a time. Cheers. Thank you. As I said, I'll be holding down the fort for our Toastmaster of the evening. And indeed, as always, we're not alone. We have several role players that help give meaning and purpose to our meeting. And tonight is no different. First up, I'd like to call the timekeeper to come and deliver a synopsis of what the role entails, why it's important to take up the role, and maybe even give you a motivation to take it up in future. So Alexis Mangani, can you please grace our virtual stage to tell us what the timekeeper has in store for us tonight?
Greetings, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. As a timer, I will time the topic speakers, formal speakers, and evaluations. I'll also rate each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denote specific times remaining. Table topic speakers should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise the green card. At 1.5 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. At 2 minutes, I will raise the red card. Those giving speeches should limit their remarks to their specific times. For icebreakers, they should limit their speeches to 4 to 6 minutes. At 4 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 5 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. And at 6 minutes, I will raise the red card. Most other speeches, they should limit their remarks to 5 up to 7 minutes in length. So at 5 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 6 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. And at 7 minutes, I will raise the red card. For individual evaluations, they should limit their speeches to 2 up to 3 minutes. So at 2 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 2 to 3 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much to our timekeeper. Here at Toastmasters, we believe that if you cannot measure it, you cannot manage it. Therefore, time or keeping time is an important part of managing our meetings. I think our Toastmaster of the evening has finally managed to join the call. I'd like to briefly introduce her. Our Toastmaster of the evening is none other than Tepo Mahoe, who was our Toastmaster the last meeting. I like her initiative. But when Tepo was asked to introduce herself, she said that she is a civil engineer with a master's in science in project management and is certified in Prince 2 and project management professional or PMP methodologies. She joined Toastmasters in June of 2024 and is currently on level 2 of presentation mastery and continues to learn. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Tepo Mahoe, who will take over the reins from where I just left off. Thank you very much.
I think maybe she's still settling down. Maybe you can continue
Okay.
with other roles.
Yes, our next role player is our grammarian, Lolante. Lolante, please grace our stage, tell us what the role entails, and in fact, motivate the next person to take it up in future. Lola, over to you.
Good evening, Toastmasters and lovely guests. As grammarian this evening, it is my responsibility to take note of any improper use of the English language and any outstanding phrases, words, or sayings. In addition, it is my responsibility to introduce the word of the day this evening, which is materialized. The meaning is to become actual fact or to happen. For example, a waiter suddenly materialized beside our table. All speakers are encouraged to use the word of the day. And thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you to our grammarian, and indeed we will materialize this meeting. Have I used that correctly? But without further ado, I'd like to call upon our hack master, Thelma Monare. Thelma, please come and introduce your role and tell the next person exactly what the benefits are in case they wish to take it up in future. Thelma, are you in the room? I don't see Thelma. Maybe I can move on to our table topic master for the night, which is Palisa Makato. Please come up on the virtual stage and introduce your role. Palisa.
Good morning, good afternoon, evening. What time is it? Good evening, Toastmaster of the day. I seem to be having difficulties with my video. I don't know if I should proceed to just introduce the table topic. Okay, perfect. Good evening, everyone. My name is Balisama Kato, and I will be your table topics master this evening. The role of the table topic session is where you get to practice thinking and speaking on your feet, otherwise also known as impromptu speaking. There are certain instances where in life you will have to stand up and speak up without prior preparation, be it a job interview, a speech at a function, anything that calls for you to rise up on your feet and do any sort of impromptu speaking. So this section will then challenge you to practice that skill. Table topics should be between 1 and 2 minutes. So that is my role this evening. I look forward to having many volunteers for our session later. Thank you. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Madam Table Topics Master. And I will also be doubling up my role as the I and Am counter of the evening. As I and Am counter, I will be taking note of our use of filler words. So filler words are what we tend to throw in our speech when our brain short circuits and we can't speak as fast as or think as fast as we want to speak. I beg your pardon. But yes, these filler words include the word sometimes we repeat words and say it I, the, and, or we use phrases such as you know, so, and then. I will be taking note of these words and I will deliver a report later in the evening. Next, I would like to call upon our general evaluator of the evening, which is a visiting Toastmaster. His name is Moses Rutahigwa, to come and give us what his role entails.
Thank you so much, President, and also standing Toastmaster of the evening. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am the general evaluator of this meeting, and I will conduct the evaluation portion of the meeting. I'll be calling on a team to assist me in giving feedback to our speakers and also evaluate the entire meeting at the end. I will give my report of what I have observed, what we've done well, and what we can improve as we go ahead. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, General Evaluator. As he said, the evaluation segment will come much later this evening, but I'd like to just check if our Hawk Master is in the room, Thelma Monaring. If not, would anyone like to challenge themselves and take up this role? I see one of our new members. She's not giving a speech today. Lillian, would you like to try the Hawk Master role? In short, the Hawk Master just listens to the proceedings of our meeting and devises questions that we will ask or partake in a Q&A session much later in the evening. Lillian, would you like to challenge yourself? It's a role meant for you to practice your active listening, but if Lillian is not up to it, would there be anyone in the call who would like to take it up? Anyone who'd like to take Hawk Master?
Bad network reception, so it might cut off at any time.
Okay.
I'm very much approach, so.
Thank you, Lillian. Is there anyone else who'd like to take it up? I see quite a few people on the call, some old members. And would you like to take up the Hawk Master role? Anne is a visiting Toastmaster. She graces our club a lot. Could I call in a favor? And would you like to take up the challenge and be our Hawk Master? Evaluator 1 has their hand up. Who's Evaluator 1? Tepo Taba. Is that you? Yes. Please help us with the Hawk Master role. I've already introduced the role, so you can take over when the time comes. So thank you very much. We have a Hawk Master. Moving swiftly right along, I saw our Toastmaster of the evening. Tepo, are you ready to take the reins? Okay.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, thank you very much. Handing over to our Toastmaster of the evening, as I introduced her earlier. She is one of our members here at Gaborone Toastmasters, is a project manager by profession in the civil engineering space. She's got a master's in project management and several other PMP methodologies, as well as Prince 2. She will be taking over the reins. So over to you, Tepo Mahol. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam President, for that lovely introduction. My role today as the Toastmaster of the day is to introduce the speakers. After the speakers have concluded their speaking, I will ask for the timer's report, request the ballots to be passed for the vote counter. I will then introduce The general evaluator has been introduced. I will then ask the reports from the counter, the timers report, and then I will return the meeting to Madam President so that she can conclude the proceedings of the day. Thank you. That was introduction of my role. At this point, we are now proceeding to the first part of the meeting, which is better speaking for our fellow Toastmasters who have had a chance to prepare for the speeches that they will be presenting today. First on our list is Bonolo Kwapa, who will be evaluated by our fellow Toastmaster Tshepot Thaba. At this point, I'll call Tshepot Thaba to tell the meeting the objective of Ms. Bonolo Kwapa's speech. Thank you, Bonolo.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day. Today, I have the pleasure of evaluating Bonolo Kwapa, who's doing her level 1 project 3 speech titled Rising Beyond My Traumas. The purpose of this speech is for the member to practice using vocal variety of body language to enhance their speech. I'll be looking out for body vocal variety, including pace, tone, pitch, and volume. All the best, Bonolo Kwapa. I'm looking forward to evaluating your speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bonolo Kwapa with a speech titled Rising Beyond My Traumas. Bonolo Kwapa, Rising Beyond My Traumas.
Picture a girl. Just picture a girl. A girl who wanted to be seen, but was afraid to be noticed. A girl who learned that silence was safer than speaking up. A girl who shrank herself just to make others feel comfortable. That girl was me. I was that girl. For the longest of time, I lived my life in the shadows of approval. I was the good girl, the conformist, the agreeable one. I never made waves, but deep in my heart, I felt so small. And this used to break my heart. I was bullied, I was underestimated, I was overlooked. I was even told, you are so much of a softie to be noticed, you're so much of a softie to be noticed, not to command respect. And you know what that did to me? I believed it. I believed every one of those things. And the more I heard those things, the more I shrank myself. And as a result, I never used to stand up for myself. I would allow people to walk all over me. I stayed in an 8-year relationship that literally drained me. I would even downplay my fashion sense in the places I showed up in. For example, in my workspace. You know why? Just to make others feel comfortable. Can you imagine it? Just imagine. I literally gave away my confidence for the comfort of others. But for some reason, all of this changed. I decided one day, remember the 8-year-old relationship? One day I decided to leave. I had tried to leave before, but failed. But this time around, I walked. I walked away. And not only did I walk away from that relationship, but I stepped into the truest version of myself. I started to be very intentional about my personal development. I sought for opportunities and platforms where I could empower myself. And such opportunities included mentorship programs. I volunteered for more responsibilities and took up leadership opportunities in the communities or associations I was part of, like at church, in the organizations I volunteered at, and even at work. I spoke up more. And not only did I speak, but I stood up for myself. I dressed up or showed up like the woman I was becoming. And slowly but surely, people noticed. They noticed that unapologetic new self. And I received feedback and comments like, these days you've changed. You've grown a neck. Nowadays you are a different person. And of course, they were right. I had changed. I was a new person because I had grown. And so all of these experiences and this transformation made me remember the words of Marianne Wilson when she said, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, but our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Because it is through that transformation, it is through that decision, the very first decision that I made, that I realized that the power had always been with me. And so I want to encourage you, all of you, that do not allow your negative conditioning that was caused by whatever reason. It could be your past traumas. It could be some of the life experiences that you had gone through. It could be anything really, but I want you to know that the power has always been with you. I want to encourage you that your voice and your presence matters. So in whatever room that you walk in like you belong there, because you do belong there. Whenever you get a chance to speak, speak, but speak with conviction, because your words carry power. I want you to walk with confidence, because you are the powerhouse. And in closing, every time you feel the urge to suppress yourself or to shrink yourself for the comfort of others, remember Beyonce's words. Beyonce said, don't lessen yourself for the world. Rather, let the world catch up to you. See you at the top.
Thank you so much, Bonolo. It is quite beautiful that not only were you able to survive the traumas that you went through, but you were also able to have the experience to grow and inspire us at the same time. Up next on the agenda list is Matshidiso Tamaki, who will be evaluated by Moses Rutuba. At this point, I'll call Moses to the virtual stage to share with the meeting the objectives of Matshidiso Tamaki's speech. Moses.
Thank you so much, Bonolo. It is quite beautiful that not only were you able to survive the traumas that you went through, but you were also able to
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. Matiriso Tamaki is speaking to us on a Project 1 Level 2 under Presentation Mastery Pathway on a speech entitled Understand Your Communication Style. Matiriso, as you speak, I'll be looking out for a well-structured speech that clearly elaborates the different aspects of leadership styles and which option or which leadership style applies to you. This could be an informal or humorous or any style that you choose to deliver in, and most importantly, be able to address the critical requirements of the project. I also look out for different other aspects of a good speech to ensure that you're able to deliver them as you deliver your speech. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening, to introduce the speaker now.
Thank you. Matshidiso Tamaki, understanding communication styles. Understanding communication style, Matshidiso Tamaki.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Have you ever found yourself in a conversation where, despite your best efforts, you just can't seem to get your point across? Or maybe you are in a meeting where one person is speaking and the others are not just on the same page as you. Well, the reason for these disconnects often lies in the way we communicate. So what are communication styles? Communication styles refers to the ways in which we express ourselves, the way we interact with ourselves, with others, and how we interpret information. Every person has their own unique style shaped by their personalities, their upbringing, their cultural background, and their life experiences. And understanding these styles can improve our interactions and help us navigate the world more effectively. And also, communication is a two-way process for reaching a mutual understandings. So today I will walk you through the 4 communication styles. We have what is called the direct communicator. Direct communicators prefer that you get to the point quickly. You need to be specific and avoid over-explaining or repeating yourself when you are talking to someone who we term a direct communicator. The second one is the initiating communicator, who value interacting with others and sharing stories. They also allow time for socializing at the beginning of meetings, and also they create a friendly environment. The third one is the supportive communicator, who appreciate a calm and steady approach. You earn their trust by providing them plenty of reassurance. When seeking their opinions, also, you need to encourage them to express their concerns and allow them time to make decisions. Lastly, we have what we term the analytical communicator. With this type of communicator, they like facts and figures. You need to present information to them in an organized manner and be prepared to answer questions. Why is understanding communications styles important? The answer is simple: because they affect the quality of our relationships, be it at work, at home, or out with friends. How we communicate can either build bridges or create barriers. When we understand our own style of communicating, we become more aware of how we are coming across to others. Are we being clear and respectful? Are we sending clear messages? Are we intentionally sending mixed signals? And also, similarly, when we recognize the communication styles of others, we can tailor our responses in a way that fosters better communications. So one of the most important things to remember is that no communication style is said to be good or bad. It's all about context and balance. Sometimes being initiating might be appropriate, like when you are meeting people for the first time and you want to break the ice. So the goal is to find balance. It's important to remain true to ourselves while we are being mindful of the way we are impacting others through communication. Having said all this, I believe I'm an initiating communicator because last year I attended some women empowerment seminar where I got to meet our own Chuck Norris here at Toastmasters, Miss Bikule Tsuve. It was my first time meeting her. I was immediately drawn to her and I initiated the conversation, and fast forward to today, she's my accountability partner and we inspire each other, we challenge each other and walk this Toastmasters journey together. I believe my communication style made a positive impact in both my professional and personal life. I'm always looking forward to meeting new people and make meaningful connections that materialize. So in conclusion, our communication styles play a significant role in how we connect with others. By understanding the different communication styles, we can improve our interactions and also build stronger relationships. And what we must remember is that communication is not just talking, it's about listening and understanding, and also responding in ways that can impact and promote mutual respect. So by adjusting our communication styles to the needs of each situation, we can foster healthier, more productive interactions, both personally and professionally. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Matsiriso. A very insightful teaching on different communication styles. As we continue, our last speaker on the Better Speaking segment is Leah Musunga, who will be evaluated by Madam President Tumelo Mapalala. At this point, I'll invite to the visual stage Tumelo to share with the meeting the objective of Leah Musunga's speech. Tumelo, please come through.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the evening. Tonight, I have the pleasure of evaluating Toastmaster Leah Musunga as she materializes yet another pathway. She is currently pursuing the motivational strategy pathway. She's on level 1 and is pursuing project 2, write a speech with a purpose. Today's speech just entails that Leah learn or review, in her case, the basic methods of writing a speech with a defined purpose. So she's to deliver a well-organized speech, a well-delivered speech on any topic of her choice, and it can be any style she chooses, whether humorous, informational, motivational, or whichever she so pleases. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the virtual stage Toastmaster Leah Musunga with a speech titled Say Yes. Say Yes, Leah Musunga. Leah, you're muted.
Blaine Lee Padon once said, "We are all capable of change and growth. We just need to know where to begin." Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and our guests. How do you react when you're faced with a situation of change? Do you embrace it or do you fear it? No matter how you react with a changing situation that's happening, one thing is certain, is that change always happens. When I joined Toastmasters in 2020, I joined because I had developed fear of speaking in front of people. Whenever I had to step up and have to voice my opinions or present a report, with more than 20 people, my legs would start shaking. And I would feel like everything I said didn't make sense. Solution? Join Toastmasters. After being a Toastmaster for only 2 months, our then president asked if I was willing to take up a club executive role. I said yes. Being an accountant by profession, I applied for the role of treasurer. I thought that would be very easy for me to do. But lo and behold, I ended up being the club vice president of public relations. So this is the person who is in charge of ensuring that all those lovely posters you see on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram, that is the person who does all those things. And for me, you needed a magnifying glass to see my social media presence. But I love Toastmasters as it gives you the opportunity to learn even when you don't know that particular skill. Eventually, I was able to learn all that I needed to and to execute my role very well. Another thing I discovered when it came to change is when the following year, they asked if anyone was willing to take up another role. I said yes. And I became the club VPE. That basically means Vice President of Education, and that's the person who does the agenda, like what you may have seen in the chat. Make sure that all the role players are available. This gave me an opportunity to interact more with the members, as you had to follow up with them to find out if they were willing to give a speech or take up a role. Later on, I said yes again when I was asked if I wanted to be the division director. I was definitely scared, as this role would entail me overseeing clubs in Botswana and Namibia, a total of about 16 clubs. Like I said, the beauty about Toastmasters is that they have trainings and there are people who are available to help you to learn. So although I was scared, eventually with the training that I got and the people who were supporting me, I was able to undertake that role. Several things happen when you say yes and embrace change. You may discover that change leads to new opportunities. So for me, being the club vice president of public relations and learning how to use Canva gave me the opportunity that just a few weeks ago at my office, my boss asked me if I could design his business cards. And that's all because I said yes. A friend of mine also asked me to create a video for her preschool to entice new parents to bring their children. And at the end, she told me she had 10 new kids. And that's all because I said yes. Sometimes with change, you can experience exciting and you get an opportunity to learn and grow. Definitely, undertaking the role of Vice President of Public Education gave me the opportunity to expand myself. I was a bit scared of talking to people, but it forced me to speak to people. And being the division director, having to oversee those clubs, gave me a chance to work on my communication skills. as you need to be able to communicate to your area directors and even the other people that you deal with when you are a division director. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, what are you undertaking right now? Or maybe what are you scared of undertaking? I'd like to encourage you. Let 2025 be the year that you say yes. So whether it's here in Toastmasters and you're asked to take up a club exco role, say yes. Maybe it's at your work and they ask you to do a specific task that you're not too familiar with and you're a bit scared, say yes. There's a famous quote I once read that said, "Nothing is permanent except change." Therefore, we need to learn to embrace change and let us say yes. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Leah Musunga reminding us to always embrace an opportunity to learn by saying yes. We continue with our program. At this point, I'll request the Zoom master to launch the poll so that we can vote for the best effort speaker. Zoom master.
The poll has been launched.
Thank you. Everyone in the meeting is allowed to vote. Kindly vote.
We are at 80%. So just 10 more minutes and we will close the poll. Okay, the poll has ended.
Thank you. At this point, I'll now invite back Dumelo Mapalala to give us the timer's to give us the timer's report.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Bololo's Kwapa report, Lava Bonolo Kwapa's speech took 6 minutes 53 seconds, which was light in time. Then Miss Tamaki speech took 5 minutes 20 seconds, and Leah's speech took 7 minutes 12 seconds. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. It's now time for the table topics, which will be led by Palesa Makhato. Palesa, please come through to the virtual stage.
Good evening. Am I visible and audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Lovely. Lovely. As already mentioned, my name is Palesa Makato, and I will be your table topics master this evening. Although the table topics session is known to be quite a daunting session, I encourage you all to volunteer to speak in this session. This will enhance and improve your ability to take up speaking roles when you are unprepared. As said in Leah's speech, she did mention that the one thing that is permanent is change, and you will be thrown into deep ends more often than not. So it's important for you to try and hone the skill of speaking unprepared. Right, so let us jump straight into it. I have about 5 questions here that are in line with our theme for today, which is make it happen. And when I ask the question, you will understand how it is in line with the theme of making things happen. I would like to ask if there's anybody who would like to volunteer. I should warn you, if I don't get volunteers, I will be looking through the list and selecting people myself. So it's important that you volunteer just so I don't pick you. Any volunteers? Any volunteers on the call? Okay. In the interest of time, I think I will start by choosing people at random.
Tapia raised her hand.
Okay, thank you. I did not see that. Lovely. Hi, Tapia. Thank you very much for volunteering. Your question this evening is, if you had the opportunity to have dinner or a meal with a famous person or someone you admired, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Thank you very much, Palesa, and thank you very much for this opportunity. The question is, if I was to have dinner, who and why? I admire the current president, Dimaboko. The reason why I admire Dimaboko is because he is a force of change. He's a force full of humanity. Somebody who is really into helping people, human rights inspired. So he has that materialization spirit. So I believe that, and I admire him in the fact that if I could have an opportunity for me to sit down, have dinner with him in any place, the good thing about him, he doesn't even care if it's a first-class restaurant or anywhere. So the kind of person like that is the person that who admires me because he brings the best of me, and also is the person who is very inspired in bringing change. So with that, in conclusion, I really admire, and I wish I could have a meal with the president just to admire and to let him know that he's an inspiration to the youth in this country, and that we can believe in change and making life better for other people. Thank you very much.
Well done, Tapiwa. Thank you very much for taking that up as our first speaker. And I should agree with you, having dinner or lunch with the president could be quite an interesting time. Any more volunteers? I see a hand up by Alexis. I hope I'm not butchering your name.
No, he's the timer. His hand is always up.
Oh, okay, okay. Thanks. Any more volunteers? All right, I will start to pick. I think Fifi Mulusiwa. Hello, Fifi Mulusiwa. Are you interested in taking up this challenge?
Can I say no?
No.
Then I guess I'm
No.
doing it.
Lovely. Your question this evening is, describe a life-changing moment in your life and how it affected you, positive or negative. Either one is fine.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity that I didn't ask for. My question is to describe a moment that changed my life positively or negatively. There's been so many. I'll say deciding to pursue my postgraduate degree because I started my postgraduate degree in a topic that I was not conversant in. I completely shifted from what I had studied in my undergraduate studies to something that was completely out of my comfort zone. It changed my life in the positive in that the trajectory of my life, especially of my career, changed completely, and it opened so many opportunities. I was able to network with so many people that I wouldn't have otherwise met had I stayed in my previous career and not pursued something that I was not aware that I could potentially enjoy. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, Fifi. Thank you very much. I'm glad you took up the challenge of taking up a postgraduate degree. And thank you for taking up the challenge for the table topics this evening as well. Any more volunteers? Timer, how are we doing on time? Okay.
We are doing fine. We are doing fine.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Can I have any more volunteers before I do what I do? Okay, I see Umpile Kwape, who is a visitor. Hello, Umpile, would you like to take up this challenge? Umpile? Okay, I guess that's a hard no. I will move on to...
Oh, hello, hi.
Okay, hi Umpile, how are you?
I'm good. And how are you?
I'm awesome. Would you like to take up this challenge?
Okay, it's my first time, but okay.
Lovely. Welcome, welcome to Gaborone Toastmasters. Your question for the table topic this evening is, you are sitting at an interview and the interviewer asks you a question which is usually the first question in interviews. The interview asks you to tell him or her about yourself. What do you say?
Okay, but thank you for the question. I would say, I would basically just be honest with myself. I am just a young girl who's trying to experience different things and get into this new world and understand what is happening and what is the future. I'm just a student in the University of Botswana who's exploring, who is willing to try different new things. And it's actually my first time saying this, but then, yeah, I don't mind going places, trying, being in this kind of industry, doing different things like meeting people who have done their masters. It's my first time. I've been hearing people saying they've done a postgraduate and masters, which is something I'd love to do one day. I think that is all.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Umpile. And it's great to see that we have people from university who still haven't experienced the working life or haven't gone ahead into that professional journey. So the fact that you are able and willing to participate and challenge yourself in new things will definitely be a plus for you when you finally go for interviews when you're ready to. Right. I have one last question. Do we have any volunteers? I see okay, I have a volunteer. Lovely. Hi, Achang, how are you? Great. Before I ask your question, it might not be relevant to you. Are you a guest, a visiting Toastmaster? Or this is
I'm
your
a
first
guest.
time coming to it? You're a guest.
Yes.
Okay, lovely. This is going to be a challenging one. You are stuck. Your question is, you are stuck in a cage with a lion. And in order for you to escape, you have to talk yourself out of it. How would you convince the lion not to eat you?
Okay, thank you for the question. But before I start, can I kindly ask for the word of the day?
The word of the day is materialize.
Materialize.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ever been in a situation where you don't know how to escape and get out of that situation? Here is Ahang. I find myself locked up in a cage with a lion. And we all know that a lion is a cannibal. Surely this lion is going to eat me up, stew me, and finish me off. But how can I convince this lion not to chew me up? How can I ensure that the thoughts that I have in my head can materialize and get out of this cage, still living and still walking? Well, I just think. But before I think, have you ever understood how the food chain works? I might just be the last option for the lion. But what else is in this case that I can use to escape from the trap of being eaten by a lion? I also don't know. But what plan can I have to ensure that my thoughts materialize? Can I break the bars of this cage and hit the lion? Can I pull out one of the canines from the lion's mouth to ensure that the lion doesn't eat me up? What other solution do I have? Well, just like Daniel in the den of lions, he prayed and probably God rescued him. Could God just rescue me and ensure that this lion goes to sleep and I could escape and be free? Well, it's all in the head. It's all about thought. Always imagine the possibility even in impossible situations. Thank you.
Thank you, Ahang. That was lovely. Timer, how are we doing on time?
There was a hand from Kels. I think that can be your last question.
Okay, lovely. Thank you, Leah. Kels?
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Awesome. Is this your first time here at Toastmasters? Are you a guest? Are you a visiting Toastmaster?
I'm a guest.
Okay, lovely. So tell us about your Toastmasters experience from the time we started this meeting until now. What has been your experience in Toastmasters so far? That is your question.
Thank you for the question. I have been attending lessons for some quite now. And what I have experienced or have seen in the Toastmaster lesson is that there is love. People in Toastmasters love each other. They want to see each other grow. They want to see the best out of others. So I've been meaning to join Toastmaster, but I have only one problem. I am a shy person. So I have a problem of coming to camera and speaking. It's not that I don't want to volunteer. It's not that I don't want to join. I'm asking myself, are they going to allow me to be a backbencher before I can come up front? Those are my questions. But in all, this is a very good platform for someone to learn public speaking. And I'll definitely come and join. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kels. We look forward to having you as a member of Toastmasters. You taking up this challenge this evening is a step closer to you becoming a seasoned Toastmaster. I take it my time is up this evening, and I would just like to say well done to everyone that took up the challenge. I know it is not easy to come to the virtual stage, especially unprepared. So give yourselves a round of applause. Lovely. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Palesa. Thanks a lot. Up next on our agenda is Thelma Monaring, taking up the Hackmaster role. Thelma?
Thelma was replaced by Tepo Taba.
Oh, sorry for that. Tepo, please come through.
Hi. Well, I took up the role of the Hackmaster of the day. I hope everyone is ready for this particular session. It's my first time conducting this session. I hope you guys enjoy it. So everyone, can we have your speakers on? Because this session I'll be just asking the random questions on the proceedings or what was said during the meeting by different speakers. So you just have to randomly shout out your answers to the questions. So if we can have everyone on unmute so that we partake in this particular session. Everyone have yourselves to unmute, please. So the first question is, who started the speech with by asking us to imagine a girl?
The first
No.
Wow, that is great. That is Bonolo Kwapa. And the next one is, what is the importance of understanding communication styles? Why is it important for us to understand communication styles?
Because it
to improve our
affects our
communication skills.
relationship with others.
Yes, that is right. It affects the quality of our relationships with others. And also the other one, anyone with a different answer?
Helps us communicate better.
Yes, it also helps us communicate better because if we are more aware of others and how they prefer their communication to be done. And also, how long did Bonolo Papa stay in a relationship that drained and shrank her?
8 years.
8 years.
Yes, that is correct. 8 years. And where are we meeting Bonolo Papa?
At the top.
At the top. That's right. You got it right. She ended her speech by saying, "See you at the top." And what was the speech title from Leah?
Say yes.
Yes.
Say yes.
Say yes. And also, what happened to Leah's leg when she started Toastmasters?
They were shaky.
They were hammering the ground. They were hammering the ground.
Her legs were shaking until she joined Toastmasters. What was her first role?
VPPR.
VPR. And also, how many clubs in total did Leah oversee as
16.
president?
16.
6.
16. Okay. And what are the things Leah designed for her colleague and friends?
Business cards.
School video. Preschool.
Pamphlet.
Preschool video.
Pamphlet. Advertisement. Pamphlet.
Well, Leah designed a business card and a video. What did she encourage us to do in 2025?
To always say
Take
yes.
responsibilities.
To say yes.
Say
To
yes.
say yes. And Takiwa, who is she willing to have dinner with?
Our
The current
president,
president.
Why?
our boy, our boy.
Why?
Because he's selfless and
And
concerned
humble.
about other people.
Yes, because
Humanitarian.
he's a humanitarian and he's a force of change. Who is a student at UB?
Kels.
Isang.
Umpile.
Ahang.
Umpile
Ahang.
Kwape. Umpile Kwape is a student at the University of Botswana. And Ahang's sister, what was she stuck in a cage with?
A
Lion.
A lion. And what has Kels identified about the people in Toastmasters?
Yeah, love.
Loving.
Love each other.
What else? They love each other.
They support each
Support
other.
people grow.
Improve.
They want the best for each
The
other.
best. Mhm.
And they want to see others grow. And what is her problem?
She's
She's
shy.
shy.
And she's shy. All right. Timekeeper, do we have more time? The last one.
Okay.
The last one. What are the 4 communication styles that we learned about today?
We have the supportive, analytic,
Initiator.
and the direct communicator.
Yes, we have the direct communicator, initiating communicator, supporting, and analytical communicator. And what is Matshidiso's communication style?
Initiator.
Initiator. Thank you so much for participating in this particular session. It was lovely, lovely interacting with you guys. Back
Thank
to
you.
Steph.
Thank you. Thank you, Tsepo. I'll now hand over to the general evaluator, Moses, to lead the speech evaluation. Thank you, Moses.
Thank you.
Sorry, the poll for table topics.
Okay, the poll is now launched. Kindly vote for the best table topics speaker.
So the poll will close in 20 seconds. The poll has closed.
Thank you, Zoom Master. Moses, you can now safely come through.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. First is my name is clear. I hope now it's easier for you to, on the program it's a bit different. I hope you can be able to read it better. That one is much simpler, I believe. Tahigwa should be simpler than the program. The program had just a typo. Once again, I'm happy to be your privileged to be your general evaluator of this evening. And this time I'm going to handle the evaluation section of the meeting. Allow me first to call on our first evaluator who was evaluating our first speaker, Bonolo Kwapa. Tsepo Taba, please come on stage and be able to give us your evaluation of Bonolo.
Today I had the pleasure of evaluating Bonolo Kwapa on her speech. And I just want to say, wow, wow, wow. That was a very lovely speech from you, Bonolo, and I enjoyed listening to it, and I enjoyed mostly evaluating your speech. There are so many things that I've noted that you've done really, really well, and I would like to point out 3 main things that I really think they stood out for me. Firstly, it was the use of your pauses. You allowed us to imagine through those pauses. They were sufficient, they were not too long and not too short. By the use of your pauses, you gave your audience the time to imagine and to wonder what you are going to talk about in your speech. That was really, really intriguing. And the second thing that you also did well, you gave your speech while standing. It really gave us a good view and a very clear view of the body gestures and the non-verbal communication gestures during your speech. And the third thing that really stood out is maintaining eye contact. You really maintained eye contact when you're giving your speech. Your eyes were not all over the place. You maintained eye contact with the camera, and it was very clear throughout your speech that you are comfortable and confident while giving your speech. And one thing that you would want to work on is the use of varying pitch and tone. I realized that throughout your speech, there were instances where you could have used high volume and high pitch. For example, when you were saying, I stepped into the truest version of myself, that was a good opportunity for you to use a higher pitch to say, I stepped into the truest version of myself, to emphasize the point and to reflect the shift in events at that particular point in your speech. And another thing that you might want to work on is the use of body language. When you were talking about how you were shrinking yourself, that was a good opportunity to use body language to emphasize that that particular thing was really diminishing you. I would like to challenge you to use more space and move a little and use all of the space that is provided to you instead of giving your speech from one particular spot, and also emphasize your points using varying speech and tone and volume. But otherwise, I really enjoyed your speech and I related well to all the events that you talked about in your speech. All the best in your next speeches.
Thank you so much, Tepo. Great delivery. All of us are learning as you speak. I feel myself getting into the mood of the speech. Wonderful evaluation. At this time, I am going to give my evaluation of our second speaker, Matediso Tamaki. Matediso, it was a pleasure to be able to listen to you. Being the first time I'm seeing you on the virtual stage, first of all, congratulations. From where I sit, you met the requirements of your project. You started with a question. Questions help us to be able to understand what exactly is going on. They trigger our curiosity in our mind, and we get to focus on you as the speaker. You went ahead to explain the meaning of communication style, what shapes our different communication styles, our communication style, and it gave the different communication styles. Even the audience was able to pick the 4 different types of communication styles, from a direct, initiating, supportive, and analytical. You went ahead to share your own communication style and where it became applicable, because that is how we get to connect with you as a speaker. You are eloquent, confident on the stage, and you used your time very well. Well done. As in Toastmasters, we believe there's only one room which is never full. That's the room of constant improvement. So as a speaker, what would I recommend you do in your next speech? 1, please consider standing so that we can get to know your hand gestures able to feel the warmth of your body. That will be key. If you can, try and memorize the speech, because when you memorize the speech, then you give us your amazing eye contact, and which you try to do, but sometimes because you have to look away, we lost the touch. Most importantly, you had some opportunities to vary your voice, which I believe you could use in your next speech, such as when you met the Chuck Norris of Gaborone Toastmasters. Otherwise, incorporate this feedback and many other learnings into your speech. I look forward to seeing you more on stage, and I wish you all the very best. Well done. Thank you so much, Mercedes. At this time, I'll call on our third evaluator, Tumelo Mapalala, to share with us their evaluation of Leah Musunga. Over to you, Tumelo.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Tonight, I had the pleasure of evaluating Toastmaster Leah Musunga. Well done, Leah, on that wonderful speech titled Say Yes. And indeed, I think we too at the end of this would like to say yes to a few more opportunities. And in true Toastmaster style, I'll give my evaluation in the form of 3 things you did well, 2 things you may want to work on, and 1 way to challenge yourself. Indeed, you satisfied the objectives of your speech, which were simply to deliver a well-written speech with a purpose. And indeed, we felt that purpose. It was to inform us of your journey as well as the various roles that exist here at Toastmasters. We're not in doubt about how you performed the project. It was also a well-written speech with a clear opening body and a closing which had a call to action. You opened with a saying that had us drawn to your speech, followed by a question that had us wondering, what will Leah give us next? In your body, you told or shared your story at Toastmasters and concluded by asking or imploring us to say yes to more things in our lives, or specifically here at Toastmasters in the form of volunteer leadership roles. You were clear, confident, and well-spoken. We have no doubt of any information that you shared tonight because we heard it firsthand. 2 things you may want to work on, however. I noticed that each time, and true to the topic of your speech or the title of your speech, each time you said yes, you used the body language to say you rose to the calling or rose up to take the action, but at times language was not specific to what you were saying. Sometimes you said rise up or take up the challenge, but your body language was contradicting your statement. Therefore, perhaps work on intentional body language to your speech to enhance your speech. Also, I also noticed that you stood in one spot and spoke as so throughout the speech. In this way, we were unable to, or we do not take or appreciate your stage presence. I know with online meetings, this can be a particular challenge, but this may be one thing you would like to work on. One way to challenge yourself, however, is to engage with the audience. You started with a saying, led with a question, yet there was no pause for the audience to radiate or give back the energy as you gave it. In the end, you asked, perhaps you could have asked, will you be saying yes to a Toastmasters role this time around, or something that would just have aided your interaction with the audience? In summary, the 3 things you did well: you satisfied the objectives, you wrote a well-written speech with a clear intro, body, and conclusion, you're clear, confident throughout your speech. Things you may want to work on are intentional body language as well as stage presence. And one way to challenge yourself is to continue to engage with your audience. With that said, congratulations once again, Leah, for materializing this next pathway you are on the venture of. And indeed, we look forward to more speeches from you. I thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. At this time, allow me pause if Paul Paul Master to be able to run the best evaluator. If that's okay at this stage. Toastmaster of the day, you can guide.
Yes, I can run the poll and then you can continue with calling the reports for the others. The poll has been launched.
Thank you.
Ten more seconds to go. And I have ended the poll.
Thank you so much. At this time, we'll hand over to our grammarian, Laura, to be able to take us through the report of the evening.
Good evening, Toastmasters and lovely guests once again. Just a reminder, the word of the day was materialized. Well done to Tumelo for using the word twice, Matsidiso for using it once, and Ahang for using it once in her impromptu speech. Some outstanding quotes, thoughts, and words I noted this meeting include Bonolo's use of the word conformist, which means traditional or conventional. In addition, she used the quote, "Don't lessen yourself for the world, let the world catch up with you." Words by Beyonce. Matsidiso expressed that communication is not just about talking, but about listening and understanding. Leah utilized the quote, "We're all capable of change and growth. We all just need to know where to begin." She also expressed that you needed a magnifying glass to see her social media presence. Lastly, she used a quote, "Nothing is permanent except change." Tapiwa used the phrase "a force of change." Fifi used the word trajectory, which means path. Ahang used the word cannibal, which means a meat eater. And those are just words that we can add to our vocabulary. Thank you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Laura, for that great report. And we do believe that feedback will be incorporated in across the different speakers, and we get to learn this as we continue. Allow me now invite Tumelo, our R counter, to share with us how we performed the R. Over to you, Tumelo.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I had the pleasure of reading or counting our speech fillers this evening, and I counted a few from our Toastmaster of the day. Unfortunately, I kept forgetting because she came back a few times, but I counted 3 R's and 3 arms. And then from Matidisa, I counted 1 R and 2 arms. Tapiwa, I counted 4 R's and 1 arm. Fifi, I counted 7 arms and 1 I, or repeated use of I at the beginning of the sentence. Umpile, I counted 2 arms and 1 air. And Kels, I counted 2 M's. So just as a tip, to try and curb the speech fillers, just take a breath and speak slower so that your brain can speak to your mouth and your mouth will relay exactly what you are thinking. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Pause, wait, the brain speaks the mouth. Good learning. Thank you so much, Tumelo. Our timer, please tell us how we used our time. Alexis Mangani.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. The report goes as follows. Table Taba's evaluation took 3 minutes, 20 seconds. Moses' evaluation took 2 minutes, 14 seconds. And Tumeo's evaluation took 3 minutes, 22 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you so much, timer. At this time, I'm going to give my final report of the evening. Thank you so much, Gaborone Toastmasters, for the opportunity to be the general evaluator today. I enjoyed the meeting. The meeting room was opened on time, and the meeting began at the dot. Even when we didn't have the Toastmaster of the evening available, the immediate switch to be able to have a stand-in Toastmaster of the evening was great. The program was shared in time, and we knew all the speakers were available, and even evaluators had a chance to engage, be able to know who will speak at the particular level of the meeting. The audience was active and engaging, and you could feel by how they listened to the questions and how they were attentive. I looked for areas you could improve at the meeting. I have struggled to find any because it was a well-executed, well-delivered meeting by this requirement of Toastmasters. However, there are two things which I think you could apply into your next meeting. Considering we do have 2 hours for this meeting and you do have 3 speakers, you know you will be able to spare some more time. Maybe if possible, in future we can add some 10 minutes or 15 minutes of an education moment delivered by either any of our members or an external guest. That gives us room to be able to add and use the remaining possibly 20 minutes a lot more. And also, possibly for the table topics master, I do feel it's a new stage. Sometimes people fear it. Maybe consider picking one of them seasoned Toastmasters to open, to allow the other guests to join in. It helps them to blend in, and then they can pick on. Otherwise, a well-executed meeting, well done. I look forward to joining you in future for your more meetings. I'm called Moses Rutahigwa. I'm from Kampala Sunrise Toastmasters, but currently based in Gaborone. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Moses. It's now exactly 25 minutes before 8. I hand over the reins to Madam President, Ms. Tumelo Mapalala.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. What a wonderful job you've done as always. We greatly appreciate your efforts. With that, let's move swiftly along. Zoom Master, could you please help us with the awards and recognitions of the evening? We ran a few polls tonight, so Leah, please take over. Leah. So best evaluator was awarded. Okay.
Apologies, I didn't realize I was muted. Best evaluator was voted as Tsepo Taba, so well done, Tsepo. And then best table topics was Ahang Siska. And then best speaker was Bunolo Kwapa. Well done, well done.
Well
and
done.
as always, we always want to say thank you to visiting Toastmasters who help us in our meeting. So thank you to our timer, Alexis Mangani, and of course, as evaluator, Moses Ratahigwa, and also as being the GE. Thank you so much for that. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Leah, for those awards. We always love a good motivation here to both our members as well as our visiting Toastmasters who grace our club with their presence each time. I have a few announcements before I ask that we take a photo and close for the evening. My announcements are that this Saturday, the 15th of February, we have what is called a club officer training in person. It will be at the University of Gaborone at 10 a.m. So 10 a.m. at UB Block 252, we'll be hosting a club officer training. And this training is open to everyone. So Toastmasters who are interested in learning about our club roles. So what I do as president, what Leah does as both Sergeant of Arms, VPM or Vice President Membership and Education. The flyer is being shown there. It's also open to the public who are interested in knowing what Toastmasters is about. You can come through, it will take about 2 hours with us, learn if you'd like to say yes, as Leah has said tonight, to a leadership role here at Toastmasters. I can speak for myself and say this position has changed my life in many ways than one, and I will talk more about it in person. If you'd like to meet me also, I will be there. My other announcement is that our term will be coming to an end in March. If you remember, our year runs from October to March and then April to September. These are the 6 months where we pay our subscriptions. So on our website, toastmasters.org, the renewals are already open. If you'd like to renew your membership as soon as now, you're free to do so. I encourage you to just plan for it because we do know it's money that needs to come out of your pocket, but you are free to self-pay on the website. And then our next meeting will be on the 25th of February, which is in 2 weeks' time. As usual, we host meetings fortnightly, so there will be that. Leah is also organizing that maybe in March we have meetings every week. We will announce the details in our socials, but look out for that. We'd like for our members to be able to push their levels. I, for one, need to finish a pathway, and I haven't been able to do so because we have speeches every week, but this will give an opportunity for members to take up more speeches in the month of March, but we'll say more in the next meeting. With that, could I please humbly request that you switch on our cameras and we take a picture for our YouTube page, YouTube thumbnail. Have you followed us on YouTube? Just saying. If you haven't, please head on there. Leah, when you're ready.
Yes, I'm just waiting for more cameras to switch on.
Okay. Please feel free to switch on your camera for our thumbnail. Yes, 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 yes.
Still a lot are off, but anyway,
Yeah.
I guess I'll just take what's there. All right, so everyone say cheese.
Cheese.
Oh, more are coming on now. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for everyone for participating in that. Head on to our YouTube page. If you're a member and you've given a speech, you can watch yourself, evaluate yourself. It's always such an experience to see yourself speaking. It's mind-changing, and I think that's why we thought up this YouTube channel to help us improve our public speaking. With that said, I'd like to close our meeting tonight. Guests, please stay. We'd like to interact with you. But as we wrap up tonight's meeting, let's reflect on what it truly means to make it happen. Each speech delivered, each evaluation given, and each role taken tonight was a step towards becoming stronger, more confident communicators and leaders. Please remember that progress is not about waiting for the perfect conditions, but rather about taking the first step, the next, and the next. The power to achieve your goals is entirely in your hands. So whatever dreams and ambitions you carry, let this be your reminder. Don't just plan it, don't just wish for it, make it happen. Thank you all for an incredible meeting. See you next time.